Nicholas. Hello, Nicholas. Welcome to the call. So we've admitted all our participants, and then this is the Scaling Exports program. I'm sure Francis might have intimated you with all of the details for this meeting. So I will just let you take this up. Thank you so much for coming to the call, and I'm sure that participants are actually ready to get insights from all of the conversations this afternoon. Thank you so much. Over to you, Nicholas.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Patience, and hi everyone. Great to see you all. We're going to share screen in a second with some information on the UK government's Growth Gateway programme. I think, Patience, if you could allow Francis permission to share screen, that would be fantastic. My name is Nicholas Clark. I am a partner with the Boston Consulting Group based in Nairobi, Kenya. That's what you can see behind me. I'm joined by Francis, my colleague. We deliver a programme called Growth Gateway on behalf of the UK government's Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, and the UK's Department for Business and Trade. What we're going to do today is share some information on the Growth Gateway programme and the offer that we provide to relevant businesses. For those of you who are already aware of the programme, we have recently updated our offer, and we're excited to share sort of the latest from our side. Great. So I'll kick off, but really is a pleasure to talk to you all today. So Growth Gateway is a service that promotes two-way trade and investment between the UK and Africa and other developing countries. And it is designed to drive commercial benefits as well as wider development impact and climate adaptation and mitigation positive benefits. So the service itself, which started about 2 or 3 years ago, offers 3 main forms of support to businesses. The first is it provides general guidance on trade and investment through our online digital resources. So if you're really just getting started into, let's say, looking to export to the UK or considering how you might be able to raise investment from UK players, you can go online and seek out that guidance. We also provide analysis and insights on a number of sectors and countries where we see sort of high potential between the UK and Africa to help try and unlock those trade and investment opportunities. And then we also, for a select number of businesses, provide tailored business advisory support. So we have a number of trade and investment experts that will give detailed guidance to businesses if they meet the sort of criteria and are selected, and we'll talk more about that in a second. So just to go to the first one of those, the sort of digital guidance. So if you're looking to export to the UK, if you're seeking investment from the UK, so let's say you're really just trying to understand the regulations you would have to sort of adhere to, understand the tax and tariff implications, or perhaps you're looking to get your products ready for export, you can find a whole host of resources, and the links are in this document, and we'll share them sort of in the chat and over email afterwards. Similarly, if you're looking to seek investment, we can provide guidance through these digital pages on sort of the types of finances that you consider based on your sort of positioning. The second offer, as I mentioned, is sort of industry analysis and insights. So we've worked across a range of countries and Pan-African sort of work to really try to understand where the biggest opportunities for trade and investment between the UK and Africa are, and to develop those into resources that anyone can use and access to sort of help advance these. So you'll see, I mean, I won't go through all of these, but across West, Northern, Southern, Eastern Africa, we've done a range of different pieces of work. For instance, we did a lot of work around the launch of the UK's developing country trading scheme, which applies to 65 countries across the globe. And we specifically looked into the Nigerian market as well as part of that. We've also done work in West Africa and North on sort of the horticulture space, as well as in Kenya. And the one that I really want to talk to you about is the sort of green investment tool. So take a look at that next. So as I'm sure you all know, there is a lot of interest globally in investing into green sectors, those that have a positive impact in terms of global energy transition, in terms of climate adaptation and resilience benefits. And so what we did is we looked sort of across the African continent at all of the different kind of sector opportunities. So this could be renewable energy, it could be climate smart agriculture, it could be a whole host of different sectors that sort of contribute positively to this space. And we highlighted those basically that have the biggest sort of advantage in terms of the structural advantage in a particular country or the continent as a whole, those that sort of are particularly well positioned relative to sort of UK investors, and those that sort of can drive the most development impact. And we've got an online tool, which we're sort of showing a visualization of here, that allows users to go in, explore the opportunity spaces, look at different countries and opportunities and understand more. And we also profile specific businesses and investment cases around particular sectors. So as mentioned, we covered about 11 different sectors, a number of countries, as sort of 5 mentioned here. But this is a tool for kind of UK investors to understand, but also for African businesses, an opportunity to understand where UK investors are showing interest and to get some sort of guidance on how to sort of position well in the space. So the third offer is the tailored business advisory support. So this is one-on-one support from experts in sort of UK African trade and investment. And again, we offer sort of 2 sets of services if you meet the sort of criteria and are selected as one of the kind of leading firms for this. So if you're looking to export, we can share detailed insights on the UK market, help you get ready for export, give you guidance on the types of buyers in the UK you can target, and talk about sort of market entry plan. And if you're looking for investment for your firm, then we can help really guide on sort of financing requirements for different types of investors that would be looking at businesses like your own, and provide sort of review of pitch deck material and these sorts of pieces as well across both of these. Should you sort of suitably become ready for this traded investment, provide connections to UK partners. As mentioned, this as of yet isn't a service that we can offer everyone, but to be eligible, we're looking for businesses that ideally have experience in already exporting. Doesn't have to be to the UK, but sort of exporting, to sort of global or regional markets. Or if you're looking for investment that have sort of experience and have made progress towards fundraising efforts. We look at products and services that have a strong potential demand from the UK or from UK investors. So, you may have a fantastic product, but if it, isn't quite the right fit for the UK market and you'd be sort of better served looking at other markets, then, we're probably going to go for those that sort of, are a slightly better fit. And those that sort of have potential to advance development impact. So it might be the jobs you're creating, the sort of level of women economic participation, sort of climate related factors. And so for this service, if you think you're eligible, then you can apply with a simple form. I think it takes 20 minutes, maybe less to fill that out. And then sort of our team will assess alongside the other applications we receive and determine whether you are available for support. Great. So maybe just to give a couple of examples of this dedicated support, so that third service. So first we worked with a Nigerian agricultural company that's operating sort of across the value chain, everything from sort of producing to processing and distributing, already exporting to a number of markets, and they were looking for guidance on how to establish a UK presence, how to connect with UK buyers, and considering financing options for a processing plant. We supported them by giving them guidance on setting up in the UK, so actually looking at warehousing in the UK, giving them advice on their pitch as they went to potential buyers on their product, and sort of sharing them with them a list of buyers and trade brokers that they could consider. You know, those discussions are progressing really well. They recently did a business trip to the UK and under negotiations with players. And then the second company, this is a sort of UK and Kenya based firm that exports coffee. It also roasts and exports coffee. It's got a strong sustainability focus in its work. And again, it was really looking to understand how it could connect with UK buyers, set up in the UK, potentially look for financing. And we've helped them to sort of directly introduce to a UK buyer. They're currently progressing with a deal, and we're connecting with UK coffee roasteries that might be interested in sort of sourcing their product. So that is in a sort of quick overview the Growth Gateway program. Just so you all know where to go, you can find the sort of general guidance on our gov.uk page. There is a link that's been shared in the chat. That link you can use to find the digital support. It will also take you to the application form for the more dedicated support. And you can also look at our campaign page, which is the second link here, to explore sort of wider sector insights. We also have got a LinkedIn page, which you can use to sort of stay up to date on our latest activities across the program. So with that, happy to open up to questions. Eager to sort of hear from those on the line. If you've got questions about the program, happy to answer. I know there's been a few messages come sort of into the chat, so if there are questions there, I'll take a look. But I think a lot of sort of introductions from the various people on the line, which is good to see. Patience, how would you like to facilitate the questions? Should we just have people raise hands or put in the chat?
All right, thank you so much, Nicholas. Thank you. So, dear participants, are there questions we might want to ask Nicholas? Please, let's get the questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand and I'll enable you to ask your questions. And then if you also want to drop on the chat, you can drop on the chat so that we can read it out for Nicholas to answer. I think someone is raising their hand already. Who is that?
Right. Yeah, I can see Michael and then.
Okay, Michael. Yeah. Please,
yeah.
Michael, unmute and ask the question.
Good afternoon once again, Mr. Nicholas. Well done. I can see you are doing a great job. I think this is the second time we are having this conversation within this year. And I've gone through your platform and I've seen what you are doing. But the challenge why I'm even asking the question is, last time, immediately after our conversation, I was asked to send a mail to the company. And since then, I've sent a mail for over 5 months. I've not gotten a response. I was asked if I had a certification on my business. And I said yes. And everything, document was sent to the email. And up to now, I've not gotten any response. So I don't know what is the problem. My company is Jolly Water Global. We had FDA certificate to trade globally. And currently, our good is on its way coming to the UK. So we needed an assistance from the Growth Gateway to see how it can help us penetrate and give us access to some customers that require our product here. but we've not gotten a response from Growth Gateway. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. Really sorry to hear that. Would you mind putting the name of your company in the chat, and maybe before the end of the call I can fix that for you?
Okay, I'm doing that.
Perfect. We'll check. We sometimes have a slightly clunky email. UK government sometimes filters out a lot of things. Okay, Jolly Walter Global Company Limited. Okay, let us check in on that, and I'll make sure we get back to you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thanks.
All right, thank you so much, Nicholas, and thank you, Michael. I think we have Princess Adelinka. Please unmute and ask your question, Princess.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Nicholas. Hi, everyone. One question. We're into coffee, and we basically are still in Nigeria. I know you mentioned that you only work with companies who are already exporting, but currently we haven't exported. So are you saying that we won't be a great fit for your program? We're looking to partner with roasters in the UK to establishing Nigerian coffee on that level. So are you saying that we technically can't work with you if we haven't exported at all?
Thanks, Princess. Great question. No, I think as we look at companies, we sort of on a case-by-case basis try to understand. Great, looks like we got another participant joining. We look to sort of get a sense of sort of where on the journey a business is. And if the sort of business is kind of very early on the journey, then there's a whole host of kind of digital resources that we suggest going to first. If you're quite far along, it's just that the actual sort of exporting side of things is yet to secure, but you have, for instance, certifications in place, or you're able to sort of show the progress that the company is making, then we can sort of give that more dedicated support to the business. So it's not a firm requirement. It's just sometimes we get some very early stage queries, and we try to use our experts for those where they can be sort of most impactful. So if you're relatively far along the process, then still definitely under consideration, and we encourage you to apply.
Right, that works. I would go ahead and apply then. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right, thank you so much, Princess and Nicholas. So Juliana, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, actually, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, actually, this is Adams, but I'm using Juliana's laptop. Yeah, so I was wondering, like, my company is a Greenport Enterprise. We're actually just, planning to start our exporting part of the business. So I could see on your website, like, companies that need funding. So do you do we get grant from the UK government, or you partner with Nigerian banks? And the reason why I'm saying this is, I checked all opportunities for small and medium companies like ours to get grant to fund our exporting program, but I couldn't find any. The only one I could find was a private company who is able to give 4% loan. So I'm just wondering, how does that really work? Do you work with Nigerian banks and all of those things? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Great question. I think one we receive a lot. So our program itself does not directly give funding. It's just unfortunately not set up in that way. What we do is we provide advice on financing options, right? So should we work with your company, then it would be looking at, for instance, is there a UK program in country or regionally that would be relevant from a sort of grant financing perspective? Is there sort of similar kind of offers from other organizations? If you were looking to sort of private sector financing, what would the options be? And so depending on the stage of your company, what you're looking for, what type of financing you're looking at, whether it's equity, debt, we can sort of give advice in that regard. Again, sort of subject to being selected for the high potential support, and the online resources which have recently been updated sort of try to give guidance on what types of financing might be most relevant for you.
All right, thank you so much, Nicholas. Juliana is no longer, okay, he said it's not Juliana, no longer here, but I hope he got that answer. So Ella, please, you can unmute and ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Nicholas, thank you. Good day, everyone. Okay, I'm Ila Omezi, Pleroma Farms and Agribusiness Limited, aka Pleroma Foods. So we are into export and we are bulk producers. We work with wholesalers, those distributors that have an array of food stores in their kitty. So how do we come in? We have been exporting. How do we come in UK? Because we know we are in US and some African countries, but we are trying to penetrate UK. Do we have distributors that we can contact, send our samples and know how we go about it? Thank you very much.
Got it. So to understand, you're sort of already exporting into either wholesalers or distributors in other markets, and you're trying to understand the sort of best way to do a similar sort of thing with players in the UK.
Yes, I need to understand that because in January we are in a cohort for the DCTS, and they said they were going to get back to us, and up to now we have not gotten any feedback from them on how to get distributors that we can work with and able to send our products to UK. We're already in US, in China, and all that. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. So Francis has just shared some sort of online resources, but if from the sounds of things, your business is already sort of successful in reaching out to and sort of engaging with other markets, and so there'll be a sort of prime candidate potentially for this sort of business advisory support. And so what I would suggest there is to apply, and one of our experts could potentially be able to sort of take you forward with that. What that looks like in reality, right, is sort of for your particular product or sets of products, identifying what part of the sort of buyer sourcing landscape makes most sense for you. Is it sort of distributors? Is it wholesale? Is it sort of niche retail? And then sort of identifying specific players or intermediaries or trade fairs, whatever it may be, that would be sort of the best way to make those connections.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Ila and Nicholas. So we have, I think, one more person, Ian. How are you? Please unmute and ask.
Yeah, good afternoon. Please, can you hear me clearly? Because my network is pretty shaky today.
Yes, we can. We can hear you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Nicholas. So my question is also, I don't know if it's been answered before, but it's something related to advisory for financing, right? So I'm based in Nigeria, and then I know a couple of financial service companies that provide access to finance for export in Nigeria, but there are other people in other countries that are making inquiries, and I wanted to ask if you provide some sort of linkage to those kind of financial companies that can provide such service. The other one I know for me is in Nigeria, and I have a lot of other people in other countries that are interested as well.
Got it. Thanks. And that's particularly sort of trade finance, or just sort of finance in general, like working capital finance, or? Yeah,
trade finance.
Got it. Yeah, so the UK government has an export finance scheme that is it's probably looking at the other direction, though. It's sort of more if you're looking to import goods or services from the UK. In terms of other trade financing opportunities, again, that would be a little bit more of a sort of bespoke support, right? So if we were to work with you through the business advisory service, then we would sort of explore with you the various options, and that would sort of be those you know, from the UK side, but also externally. So yes, to an extent, that is something we would be able to do. Again, sort of as a sort of bespoke offer under that business advisory service. Sally.
All right, thank you, Nicholas. I guess Yanolu got that. If there's any more clarification you may want to ask later, Yanu. But please, if you have your questions have been answered, please help us drop your answer that we can see others. So I have Gadi Banda. Please, can you unmute and ask your question?
Yeah, thank you very much. Hi there, Banda from me in Malawi. I just ask, the most biggest obstacle which most of us African countries face when exporting UK are putting the standards which are required, which definitely are regarded to be so high. But we would have loved if there was some training or some other form of or kind of a technical assistant to make sure that we are able to meet those standards which are so high. In what best way can your program be able to assist producers like us to be able to meet those kind of standards so that we can be able to meet the market?
Thanks, Banda, for the question. So, firstly, we have some digital resources online that sort of help you understand and access the sort of information on certification standards, tariffs, etc., that would be sort of relevant for you, the sort of certifications that would be required. So those are all available online, and we can provide linkages to those through these links. Then sort of, you know, for those businesses that would be part of our business advisory service, our experts will be able to provide further guidance to you on the specifics of your product, and how to further meet. In terms of training, our program doesn't specifically provide training opportunities, but depending on sort of the country you're in, there may be other programs sort of available that might be relevant, and again, something that you could sort of explore through the advisory service.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Gadi and Nicholas. Ishak Garba, your hands are raised, so please let's get your question. Unmute and ask. Ishak, please, you can unmute and ask your question. You're still muted. Okay, so while Ishak is trying to sort himself, Ibrahim Adamu, can you unmute and ask, please?
Okay, good afternoon, my dear August. My name is Ibrahim Adamu Ali from Kano here in Nigeria. Hello.
Hi there.
Hello. Do you hear me?
Yes, we hear you very clearly.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So my question is that we are here in northern Nigeria. We have a lot of land as we are seed producers. We are producing seed from our local farmers, small farmers, and large scale farmers, or food as food production. So, sir, as we are here in northern Nigeria, we are all the time we are talking about the climate change or climate releasing or so many things about the climate change. So we are the seed companies. How are we going to get some link or partnering to continue our jobs for the climate change, like organic farming? Because you know, most of the time if you are saying organic farming, our farms already engage into the other fertilizers or chemicals. So now we have many land that we are not used with it. They are waiting for organic. So we are want pure organic. So how are you going to get the partnering people or companies which are going to make an pure organic farming? Thank you.
Thanks, Ibrahim, for the question. So, I think first of all, as we sort of look at businesses to support through Growth Gateway, those that are sort of active in particularly the organic space are of really high interest. I think as mentioned, our program really focuses on businesses that are looking for some sort of connection to the UK in particular. So that could be, looking to export to the UK, or it could be, sort of private sector financing from the UK. And so if you think that your business sort of relates to one of those two areas, then sort of the key opportunity would be to sort of reach out to our business advisory support team.
All right, thank you so much, Nicholas. So Isha Garba, have you been able to sort your, all right, please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Isaac Garba from Kano State in Nigeria. And I have one question. Do you hear me well?
Yes, we hear you well. Yes. Go ahead.
Yes, I have one question I would like to ask. I attended some of the program last 2 months with one of our Professor Daraja from Kano State University of Science and Technology, Department of Agricultural Science. She talked about some systems of RIS, rice intensive system. Actually, we Northerners, we are not aware of that rice intensive system. But me, I'm a rice farmer and poultry farmer. I would like to join the rice intensive system. So he's the one that told us that this rice intensive system, they are doing it in America. We are not in Northerners and other places. So which way can I follow to start this rice intensive system? I don't know, or you will understood what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, thanks so much. So the question is around this.
Yeah, that is my question.
Yeah, I have to admit it's not something I'm personally sort of aware of, or something that Growth Gateway as a program is sort of specifically involved in to date. But maybe something we can look into to understand more and come back to you on. It sounds as though maybe it's related though to a previous speaker. So maybe something for patients and team. But let us look into that.
All right, thank you so much. Christopher, please, you want to ask the question?
And hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Christopher. Ishak Garba, please mute yourself. Yeah. Christopher, please go on.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Christopher. So my question is very straight to the point. If I get the speaker correctly, he said they run a facilitator service to help exporters penetrate the UK market. Now, for our company, we are into exploitation of fresh produce like vegetables and the rest. How can they help somebody like us that are still starting off penetrate the UK market? I think that's just my question.
Yeah, thanks, Christopher. So, I mean, first to say, exporting fresh produce to the UK, there are many African producers that do exactly that. It's difficult. right? So there are high standards, particularly if you're looking to get into supermarket retail. There are requirements around the sort of volumes that you can produce. There are requirements around the sort of consistency of that volume, the quality of that volume, and the price at which you can provide it at. And so we actually have a guide for fruit and veg exporters that are looking to the UK to just understand those different requirements from buyers. And so if you're just starting out, I would highly suggest kind of, looking at that resource. It's available through the digital links that we've been providing. And then, should you sort of be able to produce those sort of volumes, those sort of quality and price, then potentially that's where sort of the business advisory service could come in as an additional service offering.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Can I say something?
Go ahead, Christopher. Yeah.
Okay. So when I mean fresh produce, aside the fruits, we're also talking about veggies and the rest of them. So that link for us to go through covers that as well, right?
Yes, it does. It's for fruits and vegetables. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, all right. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I'm also sending guides that provide, guidance on, the different tariffs or expectations from the UK government as relating to fruits and vegetables, posting that in the chat right now.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the question.
All right, thanks so much, Nicholas and Christopher. So there's a question on the chat, and this person is asking, does your company give advisory or guidance on a business planning to move its headquarters to the UK? And what would you advise as an agribusiness company?
Yeah. No, I'm looking at the question as well. Thanks for raising that one from Cority Gold. So in terms of moving headquarters to the UK, yes, we have advised businesses on setting up in the UK, on warehousing in the UK. We can point you to some digital sort of guidance on exactly those things. And if you're still sort of unclear or you want to talk through, then you can reach out through our service.
All right, thank you so much. I can see Francis is answering some of the questions from the chat too. Thank you so much, Francis. So Aziz, would you unmute and quickly ask your questions?
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Aziz, CEO of Sabete Agri-Provincial Enterprises. We are into confectionaries, which is chips, akara chips, chin chin, and so on. You've answered my first question when someone asked about those of us who have not exported. How can we be a benefit of your program and your company? You've answered that. Secondly, please, I need an advice on the fact that I'm calling here right here from Ogun State in Nigeria. Presently, Ogun State government is building an airport, which is basically to export both locally and internationally. And I'm looking towards being also a business consultant. So what aspect of business consultancy can I train or go into to be part of the early birds in benefiting from this airport? It's just an advice from the company. What kind of aspect, or can your company be helpful in this aspect, please? Thank you.
Thanks, Aziz. Thanks for the question. Look, I think from the Growth Gateway program perspective, that might fall a little bit out of our mandate, just because the sort of link directly to UK support isn't quite so clear. I think on the export side, you know, as you mentioned from your first question, that would potentially be an area of interest. You know, while I've heard a few people refer to us as a company, so just to be clear, you know, Francis and I are part of a global consulting firm, but we deliver this program on behalf of the UK government, and so we are speaking today in our capacity as delivery partners for that UK government program.
All right, thank you so much, Nicholas. Thank you, Aziz. I think that's the last question we have. So basically, I just want to say thank you so much to Nicholas. Thank you for all of the insights that you have provided to our participants this afternoon, and thanks for all of the resources that you have shared as well. We appreciate that so much. And Francis, thank you so much for all of the engagements on the chat. We appreciate that too. So thank you so much. We really do appreciate your presence, and thanks for coming. We hope that when we call you next time, you would oblige us. We are really grateful. Thank you so much. So would you let's just quickly take a group snapshots, and then we can go. So please, Francis, you may want to stop sharing now so that we can have our shots. And then, so please, dear participants, let's on our videos so that we can all be seen, and then let's put on our best smiles for this shot. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it. So please, we'll just let's take my colleagues are taking the shot. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So thanks so much. I think we've gotten enough shots, and thank you, Francis, for coming. Thank you, Nicholas, and then so we can now let Nicholas and Francis leave so that we can discuss with the participants. So thank you so much, everyone. For those of us that probably our audio and all that had issues, we were not able to hear some of the things that Nicholas talked about, and that we are going to be providing the video. Hey, it's not muted. All right. So we're going to provide all of the recordings in the portal so that you can go through all of these insights that we're giving again this afternoon. So thank you so much, everyone. Well, next week we're going to have another live interactive session where we'll have another partner come to talk to you about trade and some of the things that we've been talking about from the course and all of the teachings that we have had. So thank you so much, everyone. Is there any questions? Do you have questions that you might want to, any participant has a question, probably with the learning portal and all of that, you may want to quickly ask before we call it today? Okay.